Hey, what's going on, guys? Bflattened here with a brand new video today. Today we're going to be discussing spells and melee weapons that we're seeing in the new Tiny Tina's Wonderlands reveals. They have some details on them, some descriptions on them as well. Let's go ahead and zoom in on the photos that I have here, and I'll show you guys exactly what we have to discuss and available. So we're going to take a look at the melee weapons first. We have ourselves some of the bonk weapons. This is the rare bonk stick of Mirth. It is a warrior attached. I don't know what that means actually, but it might be a subclass or something that you can select later on. Melee attacks increase your damage reduction and melee damage dealt by 5.2% for 10 seconds and stacks 5 times. The Morning Star of Mirth. It is another warrior attachment. Melee attacks increase your damage reduction and melee damage by 5.3% for 10 seconds. Kind of looks like a nice mace. And we have ourselves a hammer over here. This is called the Smash Hammer of Mirth. There is attack speed, crit chance, crit damage, status effect chance, and status effect damage. Melee attacks restore 3.1% of your spell cooldown. Has an Archmage attachment to it, actually. Some weapons in Cleave. We have ourselves the Hatchet of Downfalls. We have ourselves the Hatchet of Blistering. The Frostbite of the Crusher, so cold it burns. Melee attacks always apply a fire status effect for it being so cold that it burns. Melee attacks increase your damage reduction and melee damage dealt by 5.2% for 10 seconds, stacks 10 times. The rare Hatchet of Downfalls. Melee attacks amplify the damage of your next 3 gunshots by 31.9% for the next 10 seconds. The Great Axe of the Butcher, Vampire. Melee attacks restore 6.1% of your maximum HP and ward. I actually like the sounds of Vampire, honestly. Whatever that means. Probably attached to Graveborn. Hatchet of Downfalls. Melee attacks restore 6.1% of maximum HP and ward, which is another Vampire attachment. The uncommon Hatchet of the Crusher. Another warrior. You get your melee damage and damage reduction by 5.3% for 10 seconds, and it's stacking. And this is the Hatchet of Downfalls with the warrior attachment again. And let's go ahead and head back, and we have ourselves some quest and legendary items. This is a spoiler alert, so go ahead and either skip this section now or exit out here if you don't want to see quest or legendary items now. Okay, let's get into it. We have the legendary Slammin Salmon of Mirth. This is a legendary item. Melee attacks always apply a poison status effect, stacking up to 5 times as the fish. Amped melee attacks amplify the damage of your next 3 gunshots by 33.8% for the next 10 seconds. It is the fish slap. Legendary Snake Stick of the Crusher. My new thing is now Snake Jazz. Melee attacks spawn a nearby Hydra companion that deals melee damage for 6 seconds. This would be great with the Graveborn with all the companion bonuses, so you can get a nearby Hydra. And you also have the Vampire attachment that's on here as well for the maximum HP and ward being healed. Here's a quest item here, Frostbite of the Crusher. We've seen this one already previously. This one is the Goblins Bane of the Stunner. A perverse charisma fueled by avarice. Goblins Bane melee attacks deal plus 100% damage against enemies above 95% total HP. Kind of like the 150-90 Anoint in Borderlands 3. Echo, melee attacks deal 7% of all non-melee damage dealt by the Fate Maker over the last 10 seconds as bonus damage, and reset this bonus. And this is the Goblins Blade of the Bane of the Stunner. You have the Echo and the Goblins Bane attachment as well on here. And you have the Snake Stick. This one has no description attached to it, just a static photo. Next up, let's take a look at Swift. These are going to be our swords, Broadsword of the Stunner. And as we're going through all of these, a lot of these, like, details on here are insane. These are all on the inspect screen, so you can take a look at these as well. A lot of these details are absolutely insane. I'm really, really happy to see these. Some of these have attack speed up. They have amped in most of these, it looks like, which is really cool. This is the flat blade of the assassin, pardon me. flat blade of the stunner, so there's multiple different versions of them, so you can get multiple different kinds. That one has the vampire on it. This is the Kopesh of the stunner. Ancient, that's new. Melee attacks restore 3.1% of your active skill cooldown. I feel like we've seen that one before. And let's go ahead and take a look in Valora. This is the Claymore of Numbing. That thing is huge. Melee attacks restore 3.2% of your action skill cooldown. This is the Falcon of Numbing. Vampire, you get your healing and your ward back. And also here's some parts inspections as well. So you can take a look at the attachments and what they do, just like we've seen in Borderlands 3. You get to look at every single attachment on here, the blade mod, the hilt mod, and exactly what they do with their attributes. You got to look into the parts section of the inspection screen. And these are your individual parts. It'll highlight them, and you can see exactly what it does, what will be positive, what will be negative, and things like that. So this is a short little photo display of all of our melee weapons. Let's go ahead and take a look at spells. So we can take a look at a few of the spells here. We have to look into gear, and it's going to be spells. Common Magic Barrage. It's corrosive. Multiplying Elemental Blast of Unrelenting. It is fire. Hold and release to cast. Fires 3 fireballs at once. Consuming Eruption of the Nemesis. Spawns a Singularity. Erupts after a short delay. So all these spells are going to have different special effects, of course, along with their element, along with their damage types. And it's going to have a channel cast requirement, basically. Leave an elemental splat on the ground. Spectral Talons of Legends. Hold and release to cast. So there's going to be basic versions, and the more advanced versions will have different abilities attached to them. So there's Conjurer, so you can actually conjure stuff. That'll be helpful with Graveborn. Spectral Wyvern releases smaller damaging wyverns along its path. Colliding Eruption of Winter. Knocks back all enemies by its eruption. Rare Hydra of Luck. Your Hydra companion to attack nearby enemies. Talons of Unrelenting, we've seen that one already. Three-headed Hydra of Luck. Hydra companion with 3 additional heads, firing more projectiles with them. Damn. Calamity. Restores health via damage. This is a uncommon Hydra. You get your Hydra. This is Magic Barrage. You heal off of it. This one's shock damage, our first shock related spell that we've seen so far. And let's take a look at Word Reaver. Flaming Spell of the Marked. It is a sticky. Flaming Spell of the End. Another sticky. Massive Elemental Blast of the Zealot. Larger, slower fireball, increased damage and damage radius. It also restores health via damage. We have ourselves the Arc Torrent. It is a shock, and it also, you can hold it to keep casting it repeatedly. So that's a look at our spells there. We took a look at our spells. We took a look at our melee weapons that are going to be included in the game. We're not exactly over time on the video yet, so I'm going to show you a couple more things that I have in here. These are going to be wards, otherwise known as shields. Feel free to pause at any point in time in case I'm going too fast. Aegis of Revenge. The Bulwark of Eruption. If you guys want to see more of these photos, I can absolutely upload them into my Discord as well. Just let me know if you want to see more of these. There's armor, there's gear, there's a bunch of other sections in here that I have not covered yet. Armor, cosmetics, rings, amulets. There's a bunch of stuff in here that have not been covered or revealed yet. If you want to see them, please let me know. If you're a content creator as well, also feel free to let me know, and I could share some of these images with you, and you can make your own videos. I think we're going to call her here. My name is Bflattened, and I'm signing on out of here. Take care, all. Laters.